Hello and welcome to the Grumpy Sound Guy Show. Today we're going to show you with the aftermath of a very, very wet day festival looks like the next day. This is all the stuff that we do not get paid for, you know. And trying to factor these kind of hours into the original price, you can get away with some of that depending on what your clients like, what their budget's like, that sort of thing. But you just never know. It's always a crystal ball thing, you know, as far as is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? We had a lot of rain yesterday. So we're going to basically unpack the truck. We got a trailer over here full of gear too. That was at a second event that it also got rained on to some degree. Not as bad as the A-Rig, but yeah, stick around. You don't want to miss a second of today's show. Hey guys, if I could just have a moment of your time to talk to you about this channel. 49.8% of you guys watching this right now is not subscribed to this channel. Will you please hit that subscription button? It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to the channel on the public side here. And then that gives us tools and resources and for my marketing team to be able to do what we need to do to get this content out to people who really enjoy this sort of thing. The other thing is, if you're super digging this and you'd like a deeper look into my world, then subscribe to the paid side of the YouTube channel. You can join for about the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you know, and then I do vlogs over there. I post content that never goes public, and I let you into my world. I let you into the CLP audio world, and I let you see what our day-to-day life looks like. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Okay, so let me set the stage for you. Literally set the stage for you. That was kind of cool. I did a day festival yesterday in Middle River, Maryland, which would be northeast outside the Beltway there, and just outside the Beltway there in Baltimore, Maryland. And great client. Absolutely love these people. It's for it's the Evan Blood concert series. With a Brandon Tolson Foundation. I know that's a lot of names, but they basically raise money to help families who have lost siblings due to drug overdoses. That is very near and dear to my heart. I feel very privileged to be part of that event and that organization, and be helping those guys out and having an iron sharpening iron kind of mentality. Last year when we did this event, this is our third year doing the event. Last year when we did the event, we had intermittent storms, you know, nothing crazy, just, you know, a little bit of rain here, a little bit of rain there, nothing we couldn't work through easily. Yesterday was a little bit of a different story. So we had stage and audio out on this gig because the event is over at 6 p.m. and they're trying to save money, so we just don't hang lights for that event. If you go to the CLP Audio and Staging Facebook or Instagram page, you can see pictures from that event from yesterday. Today is Sunday. I am extremely tired, exhausted, and wore out from battling all this yesterday, but you can't just let wet gear set in the truck like it's just going to dry itself out by the magic of Keebler elves or something. So we got it was an acoustic opener. We did the second band, Sons of Pirates. That went off mainly without a hitch, without notwithstanding one of the band members who had taken some Benadryl before he went on stage. He had some issues. Nothing major. He's perfectly fine, but it was a little scary there for a couple seconds in the middle of their set. And then we got the third act on, Mark Bray. Those guys are an amazing country band. I think we got 4 songs in, and we started getting lightning and thunder. We've been watching the radar all day. You know, we're trying to stay plugged in and do all the things that we're supposed to do to be prepared for this sort of thing. So we shut everything down, turned the generator off. We were on a 45K generator that day. And yeah, so then starts the wait. You know, and we sitting there, me and the event organizer, we're sitting there looking at the radar, checking in with each other every 20 or 30 minutes. I got guys on a timer, timing, you know, lightning and thunder, because we have to be 30 minutes beyond that before we can restart. And we pretty much sat there and watched it pour down rain for 3 hours. Now, these were very isolated cells. You know, it wasn't a very organized, you know, storm that way. So there was a lot of hope that it was going to clear out. And we were at the very least going to try to get the headlining band on, who the event organizer actually plays in that band. And, you know, for all the obvious reasons, he wants to play, man, you know, and I want him to play, you know. They had to send one band home because there just was no hope of getting them on stage. So that left us having to deal with a lot of the water issues and things like that you get in any kind of outdoor. We had backdrop and side curtains up on the stage. That made a huge difference in keeping the stage as dry as we possibly could. But the long and short of it is, I'm going to get deep into that stuff on the member video this week. So if you're not a member, you might want to hop over there, and we're going to talk specifics about how to survive you know, a rain out kind of event, and how to keep your client happy and all that kind of stuff. So that's super cool insider information that's going to be on the paid side of the YouTube channel. If you're not a member, it's like the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks per month. You know, I tried to keep it cheap so everybody can get in over there. Get over there. There's a ton of member-only content over there. Those videos never go public. So today's video is really just about, we're going to unpack gear. I'm going to kind of talk to you as we go along. It's kind of a hangout at the shop kind of day. And we're going to pull things out, let them dry out. We may even break out a towel here and try to towel some stuff off. We got a couple pop-ups we need to put up. Of course, today, the next day, is absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's all of about 75 degrees, no humidity. There's not really much of a breeze going on, partly cloudy day. I mean, it's a beautiful day. Why couldn't we have had that yesterday? But I digress. So, yeah, just hang on for the ride. It's going to be a long video of me talking about wet gear. So, here we go. As I have said like 38 other freaking times, you know, this is the stuff that we don't get paid for, but have to do. It's still full of beverages, believe it or not. Oh yeah. We should probably pull the plug on that. I think it's on the other end. Let that kind of do its thing. Oh my goodness. This out. We got grass all over everything. These hard shell golf caddy cases by SKB make a phenomenal mic stand case. This is the extended version. It's got a big hump in it, so I guess you can get your whole golf bag and clubs and everything in there if you had a big bag. But man, it works amazingly well for a mic stand case, and you can get them used on eBay and stuff for like $200 or something, you know. I have another one that's just a standard straight, I think over there for the B rig that we keep those mic stands in. So yeah, there's a handy little tip. Open this stuff up. Really the whole idea here is to just open things up, let air get to them, and let it dry. We kept all of, well, these two racks, I say all of, these two racks here. One's an amp rack and the other is a control rack with the M32C DL32 Wi-Fi setup. We always keep that stuff in the truck. We'll back the truck up right next to the stage, like the edge of the stage will be right here, and you know the stage is going that way. And we run all our cabling into the truck. That way, especially if you have a multi-day gig, you can just pull the door down and lock it up, you know, and all the important stuff is locked up. And in a day like yesterday, you know, we're able to save that stuff from getting wet. Get a towel here. So this shouldn't be too bad, but I will open them up and let them breathe just because it's the right thing to do. This is typically the kind of video that I would only do on the member side, but I'm feeling generous this week and figured I would hit you guys with it. And really the only reason I post this kind of stuff on the member side is because you guys on the public side of the videos, y'all are brutal, man. Some of you are just mean and rude. You know, I mean, I don't know. I can't make sense out of it sometimes, you know. To where the guys that are actually paid members tend to be guys that will actually watch the whole video because they have a different level of interest. Statistically, probably 30% of you have already tuned out. You haven't even made it this far into the video, and we're just getting started. And I get that. You know, I understand, but yeah. Content creation is not for sissies. Let me put it that way. I have showed you guys these racks a bunch of different times, I think, but this is the back. I'm going to turn this around. I had apparently, and you guys talk to me now because I need your feedback. Apparently we were having audio problems with last week's episode. I'm using the exact same mic that I always use when I reviewed the video during post-production. It played, the audio was the same volume it has always been with all my other videos on my devices. But if there's something wonky going on, man, you know, don't hate on it, brother. Help me out. Tell me what's going on. You know, I did have one follower say, hey man, the audio seems a little low. And then I had, you know, some snarky jerkhole who was like, man, if you really cared about audio, you get the audio right on your video. Well, I'll tell you what, man, why don't you come over here and live in my world for a while and do content creation for, oh hell, I don't know, 20, 25 hours a week on top of the 40 or 50 hours a week you put into your audio business, and tell me how much time you got to do all that. Look, I get it. Quality needs to be in place. I'm all about that. I'm very anal retentive that way. And it's why I have the reputation I have and why my phone rings a lot. But, dude, you got to be a jerk? I mean, really? I mean, I don't, come to your job and you're busting tables and, shoot spitballs at you or something. I mean, come on. Can we just try to be kind to each other? That's all I'm asking. Just try to be kind, loving. Oh yeah, here's my favorite part of drying out. Freaking pop-up tents. They're a necessary evil, but man, what a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, it's got just pools of water in it. All right. Ropes all tied up. Dear God. I carry something like, I don't know, at least 2 pop-ups with me, sometimes 3, depending on what we're doing. And granted, and I try to tell you people this stuff all the time. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Watch the water run. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, I carry 2 pop-ups, sometimes 3. Depending on the event. And I mean, before you pro touring guys start laughing at me, please understand that we are middle market content here. And that's just kind of the world we're in. This is not some big, crazy, expensive pop-up. It's like a, I don't know, $89 pop-up you get at Walmart or something. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just don't have money to burn. I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but it's the truth. I think this pop-up, I did spend a couple more bananas to get a little bit nicer thing. I think this one might have been 150 bucks or something, but and it definitely is nicer. Heavier canvas. I don't even know what brand it is. It says Crown Shades. I think I got it off Amazon or something. I don't know. I see stuff online and I go get it. So yeah, there's that. This thing is a little odd in how you have to set it up. You can't extend the legs first like I did on that one and then get under it and push it up because the top is so tall, which I'm thankful for. It's cool. But it means a big guy like me has got to crawl underneath this thing and then push it up. The nice thing about this tent is that some of the cheaper tents, when you get into like a real rain, like this tent here, it's probably on its at least 2nd season, if not 3rd season. For an $89 tent, I mean, what can I complain? You know, I can't complain, you know. Most of the time it's providing shade. I also have sides that we can put on them you know, to help block the sun from, we all know that the sun is the enemy of all of our electronic devices. So yeah, I mean, but the problem with that cheaper tent is that I'm trying to find someplace to hang this. I guess I'll just have to set it in the sun and just let it do its thing. Water will drip down inside that. Now, it could be a torrential downpour, and you're mostly going to be dry, especially if you have the sides up on it. But I did, in fact, last year, was it last year? Last year, the year before, I did a big Oktoberfest here, I don't know, about an hour away. And we had torrential downpours for 2 to 3 days of the festival. And what I was finding is when I was set up underneath of this, I had 3 sides up. I would get a little drip every now and then on my table. So I ended up having to take one of my tarps. I have tarps that are black on one side and silver on the other. So I just put a tarp over it and secured it, and then we were good. We actually had a little habitat there for like 3 days. We were kind of joking about how we could rent out front of house as like a timeshare or something, but yeah. So that's that. So yeah, there is a difference. And then yesterday we had this new tent up, and I only had like 1 or 2 drips, man, and I think it was because it was coming up through the vent. Water was starting to pool up there around the vent, and I really didn't have it as tight as what I have it right now because, you know, we were in a hurry and, you know, trying to get set up and try to get everything going on. And the least of my worries is the front of house tent. You know, we got 1,000 other things we're trying to get right before we get to that. Let me turn this back off. And then we could probably scoot that over there out of the way, because here comes the real mess. I carry a 4x4 to be able to get up over curbs and stuff. That's a genius idea. If you got to pull your box truck or your trailer or something up over a curb, if you carry a 4x4, you can put it at the curb, and it makes going up over the curb way easier on your tires. Monitors. Let's just set up monitor camp over here. I guess we can unpack those. We had 5 monitor mixes out yesterday. Each band, it was 5 bands. Each band was supposed to play an hour. So in that scenario, most guys aren't messing with their ears much. I did have one band request that, and I was ready for it because I carry a 32 channel split. That's what's in that red box, if you can see inside the box truck. So I can just give them a tail, and they can have actually ears over wedges at that point. But because of the rain, and we only got, you know, pieces and parts of the band's up and going, then we didn't really mess with that, is what I'm getting at. So. This monitor cart is a super cool hack. This is a just a Costco cart. I upgraded the back wheels on them because it carries a lot of weight, but it's great for strapping, you know, 5 or 6 monitor wedges on there and letting them be what they be. I'm feeling kind of weak after yesterday. Oh. All right. And then all I do is just put a ratchet strap around them. That tends to make everything all right. Now what we'll do, it is about, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll probably let all this stuff set until about 5 this evening. And then we'll pack it all back up. And you know, round 2. I'm sorry, man. The stuff, C5s, dude. I mean, they're just breathtaking. What sucks about this whole thing is, had it not rained, I would not have had to touch this truck, because this truck packed almost identically to this, outside the fact that we got to add some movers to next week's festival. We could have just left it alone. You know, not unpack it, deploy everything, pack everything up, put it back in the truck. So, yay, music industry. This, my friend, is cable trunks, which is where we absolutely positively have the most water in our inventory. Will be in the cables, because the cables kind of get, there's some mud on top of that. I'm wiping off. And no, I didn't wipe it into my M32. I seen where it went. God, you people are so much, I'll tell you. Here it is. Got a little water on top. So let's take this. We really need to open this up. Maybe over here. I don't know. Oh yeah. So the idea here, again, get everything out. Let it hang and do its thing. There's 250s. You want to see a count? See how much money you get in AC cables? There's 250s. 25, 25, 25. 210s. 25, 25. All triple taps. I know I'm 1,000 years away from the camera, okay? Just work with me, all right? Here is a 100-foot. And another 25. Another 100. 10. 25. 25. 25. 100. 10. That's a 50. And then 1, 2, 3 more 10-footers. Yeah, these are garbage bags we use to put over our speakers on sticks, or they'll even work on some of our bigger tops, like the 722s, the 725 SRX stuff that we use. And then in the bottom of this box, which you can't see, maybe I'll bring you over, I don't know. Adapters, all kinds of 30, 50, you know, anything, generator adapters to get you out into 2 110s. Yeah, bunch of Ethercon stuff. I mean, some L1430 to Edison. You know, you can actually plug that into, that's a cool little cable here. You can plug that into two 110s and come out with a 240. Math, it's your friend. Man, you're like doing the whole video like 1,000 years away from the camera. Man, shut up. Go find a hobby, dude. You know. And now this question is, am I making enough noise for you? This is all the speak-on action and a drop snake. Ladies and gentlemen, the drop snake. That did not get very wet. This stuff, on the other hand, has got like 10 years of freaking lawn clippings in it and everything. We try to be careful rolling stuff up, but I mean, come on, man. It's a challenge. Oh, who wrapped that? That's a mess. And my OCD will not permit this. So, we had a new guy on the job last night who had never done over-under. So, school was in session a little bit. These are all monitor cables. Be nice if the Velcro was actually tight instead of loose. And I don't think this was out for sure. And then what is this that got all balled up on the side down here? That's not good. Not all this stuff came out. And I actually have a specialty cable that I made for my tops, which is just basically NL4 to the cabinets and then a split to NL2s. Because we just run our tops full range. I just, in the house parametric, I just roll off everything under like 50 or 60 hertz, 70 hertz, whatever feels good to the ear. Then the rest goes into sub. So, yeah. Not calling for any rain today because that would be catastrophic. I would really be upset. Okay. Now we get to go to the fun stuff. I honestly don't think these got too wet because we kept tarps on them. But I do know that these tops got drenched because they're just kind of out in the weather. Interesting point of conversation. Hang on, let me get down the ramp. I made those caster boards, by the way, which makes moving this kind of stuff way easier. A little tip for you there for free. I had someone ask me today in response to the post from yesterday saying, hey man, how do you keep from having water destroy your speakers? And I said, well, I'm so glad you asked. First of all, having passive speakers really helps a lot. You know, I mean, having speakers that transparent foam right behind the grill, and that just keeps the water away from the drivers. Plus, you know, they're tilted like so when they're hanging in the air, so it's not like, you know, they're laying on their back face up, you know, or something like that. Put this here. Oh, for you guys that were wondering, I've had a bunch of guys ask about how I fly these. Those are the quick disconnect tracks I installed. There's a big wide plate behind each one of these underneath the cabinet, and it's almost identical to what JBL puts in them, you know, when they sell the fly versions of these. In fact, that's where I got the idea from. And that's really the only place you ever see any sign of any kind of water stuff, is that the tops of those screws, I guess, are made out of tin or something, or some kind of alloy that rusts real easy, so you get a little rust there. But yeah, that's what happens there. And then I'll pull the fly bar out that I actually made to show you how that works. Let me get the other one out and get them breathing. Oh, XLR box. Get that out, let it breathe. Those cables are probably okay. Mic kit. Did not get wet per se, but wet hands put them away, if you know what I mean. So let's just open that up. Let it breathe. Everything looks like a mess in there. Try to restock all my DI boxes in some kind of efficient manner. And they put rubber on one side of these, so use your brain and stack them rubber to metal instead of metal to metal. Actually, a 52 goes under that. That goes there. This goes here. I always carry a little quarter inch for hopping out of a DI into a base rig or something. Sometimes we need that. So for now, we'll let all that breathe. Breathe. Yeah. If you go check out my video, what is it? Microphone war kit or something like that. It was from about a year ago. I go through all three of my mic kits, and you'll get to see exactly what mics I use on what, and why I use those mics, and why this mic may be more economical, make more economical sense to you than buying the Flavor of the Week microphone. So check that one out. And for all the guys that said, man, you lost me when I seen you with those covers face to face, grill to grill. Yeah, I do have covers, jackass. I just kept them in the truck so they didn't get wet. And those were soaked when we loaded them up. So the little bit of, you know, face to face action it had, you know, just going from the gig to here today is very minimal. And we'll put these on them when they're dried off. So, calm your tits, Dorothy. Everything's going to be all right. All right. Believe it or not, even though they were in the truck the whole time, there's still a couple wet spots on them. Ba-da-da-da. Here, I'll pull one of these fly bars out and show you how that works with this one. I have probably been asked that 2 or 3 times. I think I may have done something on the member side about that when I was going through the truck. I think I did a truck pack video not long ago for the members. But yeah. So here you go. These go into the tracks. It's just a straight, I don't know, probably 3/8 thick steel. I marked them out and took them to a local machine shop so they could drill through it because it's hardened steel. These boxes only weigh 75 pounds a piece. That bar right there is probably, you could probably put 400 or 500 pounds on it without it bending. I mean, I just can't see. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. The holes that I drilled are all pretty much at the center of that piece of steel, you know, so it can take a lot of weight. So they're trap boxes. So I just put them together that way. Lay this across. Let me just show you. Let me just show you, man. Quit running your mouth, dude, and show me. Freaky tweaker. Sorry, that was a little much. Okay. So here's how, let's imagine, of course, this is how we actually set it up before we put them on the chain hoist and raise them up on the stage. We usually use that caster board to do this. Oh. Oh. So there you are in perfect trap mode. Boom, I just go across there like that. I put them in on the last click at the end of the rail toward the back of the cabinet. And when I lift them up, they naturally just turn just like that, the perfect angle. And we got, like I had a really good buddy of mine, Jeff Mullen, he was playing in one of the bands yesterday. He's a Shure rep. He's a DOS audio rep. He's a Chave Pro rep. I mean, he reps a whole bunch of, equipment. And he was raving about how good the mix was out front. And he's like, you know what, man? He goes, and he's like, I don't tell a lot of people this, but he says, a lot of people buying a line array don't need line array. And he goes, look at this point source system. He's like, dude, you're killing it. Like it's plenty loud enough. We had 100 dB right in front of house, peaking at like maybe 102 every now and then. Spent a lot of time at like 97, 98 too, for like the slower, more quiet songs, but it gets it done. And then my clients love it because they can get away from it if they want to. So once you get behind the front of house tent, obviously the volume starts going down because it's point source. It's made to do this instead of this. You get me? So at all these day festivals where we have people who want to just kind of sit around a little table that they brought and drink wine and eat cheese and crackers, and we see a lot of that in our area, believe it or not, this gives them that ability. If you want a more intense experience, all you got to do is get to the sound booth, between the sound booth and the stage, and brother, you got it in spades. The kick is knocking you over in your chest. You get nice crisp highs, a very well-defined and sculptured out, mid-range. There's not really much more you can ask for as far as a concert experience. But what we find is probably 70% of our audiences really want to be able to sit and talk to their friends. They want to enjoy the band, but maybe they want to sit there and talk about how great that guitar solo was. Or, hey, that reminds me of one of Eddie Van Halen's things or whatever. Or, hey, check out that guitar. And, like, I know when I go to shows with my friends, dude, that's exactly how it goes. We're gear nuts, dude. We're music junkies, So when we go to this stuff, we love to sit there and talk about all things music, and enjoy the band at the same time. I mean, if they're playing our favorite song, we will get up and go toward the front of the stage, I find myself with earplugs in a lot of times at these shows because they're using these big honking line arrays, and they're killing us like 200 feet out. It's like, dude, man, especially some of these other companies that are using, like some of the older Vertex stuff. That Vertex stuff is so loud, but it is so incredibly mid-rangey, and it hurts my ears, dude. It just does. I'm just being honest. It hurts my ears. So I never have any complaints about it not being loud enough. And I have tons of compliments about how it's so refreshing to have a sound company out at our event that doesn't kill us with volume. I can remember the first year I did Oktoberfest over in Lovettsville. It's been 4 years ago. They have since moved on with another event planner who had their own production guy. More power to them. I wish them all the best of luck. But the first year we got called back 2 more years because of that very fact. Because we weren't trying to kill the people with volume. We're just trying to make a nice, comfortable ambiance, give the band what they deserve, make that experience between the sound booth and the stage really be impactful. But then allow people to get away from it and be able to enjoy the experience of being at a festival with friends that maybe they don't see all the time, I digress. That's my way of thinking. It's the way I do business. I have been shopping for a line array for probably the last 2 years. Really, honestly, what happened was the economy took a crap, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the economy, everything got crazy expensive overnight, you know? And as you've heard me say 1,000 times in my short form videos, you know, everybody in the club industry was able to raise their prices, and we weren't. I mean, since 2020, I may have gotten a 20%, 15% price increase. And I mean, I'm being very generous with that number on some stuff. The bigger festivals, I've been able to get just a teeny tiny bit more. All the club level stuff, I raised my prices to where I could make a manageable or a measurable profit and just kind of let it lay there. And we lost some clients because of that. But the clients that we have left are like really legit people you want to work with, you know. So I don't really regret that. It can get a little slim in the wintertime, just like it does for everybody, you know. But the reality of it is I'm working with better quality bands. I'm not having to sell myself short, and I'm not running my business in fear anymore. You know, I'm not running my business in this idea that I'm afraid that I'm not going to get the gig. You know, I'm blessed enough to be busy enough that I can usually, especially during the summer months, I can usually pick and choose what I want to do. I was telling the event organizer yesterday at this festival, we were kind of having a laugh. We had a lot of downtime to kind of hang out and talk. And I said, man, I bet I turned down 15, 20 shows for that same date. You know, guys that wanted stage sound lights, guys that wanted just audio and lighting, you know, for like park shows or, you know, street festivals or that sort of thing. A lot of those street festivals don't have a big budget, so they won't do a stage. They'll just set them up in the street, which is fine. You know, put them under a, you know, a 10 by 20 tent or something like that. But yeah, man, you know, to God be the glory. You know, I mean, I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful for you guys for tuning in. If you're even still watching at this stage of the game, you are my people. You are my people. We've done everything we can do, at least on this truck. So that this rig was actually in a box truck, a U-Haul box truck, because none of my staff owns a pickup truck or an SUV that can pull a 6x12 trailer. I will say that gets frustrating, but they're freelance guys. They're all 1099 guys, so I can't get too mad at them. Here's a little trick. I got this little, I don't know, 2-inch by 2-inch metal thing I put in the joint of my door. I've seen guys do the same thing with like a 2x2 piece of wood or whatever, so that when you're rolling stuff in and out, it don't get caught up on that big 4-inch gap between the door and the trailer. I just need to lift this door so I can take this mic kit over here and open it up, because I am out of room. This is a 30 by 40 shop, and I'm out of room. I have, this trailer is usually full, the box truck is usually full. I have a 7 by 16 trailer up on the hill that's full with an EAW 850 rig, and the shop is full. So we got a few pieces of equipment. Again, Costco carts for the wind. Let's move this way. This is another one of those SKB golf cases. This one's just the standard. It doesn't have the extra capacity that the other one has. So, oh yeah, that's all wet. That's just awesome. Yep. So I think it's safe to say that that rig got wet. Now, this case actually has water laying in the bottom of it, which is extra special. It was an option when we bought it, you know. Sir, would you like to buy the pool of water in the bottom of your mic stand case? It's a free upgrade. Gee, thanks, Cletus. Coming back around. Hi there, how you doing? That was Venus Flytrap from WKRP. WKRP in Cincinnati, TV show that none of you young people will know. My whole life is really just regurgitated, you know, 70s and 80s sitcoms and cartoons. But hey, everybody's got to have a gift, right? I guess that's mine. Another monitor cart. If those mics are that wet, I'm sure these got wet. That doesn't go like that. God only knows what the deal is with. There's the B mic kit. Open it up, let it breathe. I'm sure these cable trunks need the same thing. No one can ever figure out how to stack these. I don't know why it's so hard. But, again, everybody does things their own way. It's good. I'm not hating. Not hating. These old things, man, I don't even know where I got them at. I've had these monitors for a hot minute. Like, for real. I've pretty much replaced all the horns in them. I've never had to replace a 15 in these. To where the 12s, I've already replaced half of the 12-inch drivers in those CM12Vs. These are SW 15V. They're heavy to move around, but my B crew foreman had a speaker go down on him last year at Camden Yards, and he had to throw one of these up in place of it. And he came home raving about how good they sounded. He goes, they don't look like much, but man, they sound good. I'm like, yeah, you know. The thing that I always like about these Yamaha monitors, again, I think these are SM or SW, SM 15V. The other ones are, see, the only difference is these have rat hair carpet on them. The other ones have Duratex, you know, coating on them. They look more pro, whatever. They also hide the horn in the CM line, so it looks more uniform. And then having that horn hid with acoustic transparent foam behind the grill makes them kind of water resistant, so that helps as well. But the reason I went with these, I had a guy tell me one time, he goes, what are those, PV monitors? I'm like, no, they're Yamahas. And he goes, oh, it's the same thing. And I'm like, no. I mean, I know what you're saying with that, because this line of monitors were in direct competition with like the PV Black Widow loaded SP line, which, if I'm being perfectly honest, the 15-inch Black Widow is probably a better driver than what's in these. But when you realize that 65–70% of your mix is coming out of the horn, especially in monitors that are mostly EQ'd for vocals, this has a 2-inch exit horn and a 3-inch diaphragm horn. The PVs had like a 1-inch or 1 1/4-inch exit, and they were a 3-inch driver. For my money, I always felt like these reproduced mid-range a lot better than the PVs. It's just my opinion. I think they throw better because there's a larger exit, and it's not crazy harsh like the PV is. Like the SP, what is it, SP15M or whatever it was. I don't even think they even make them anymore. They were made out of real plywood instead of particle board. I mean, it wasn't a bad built cabinet. I'm not saying that it's horrible. I'm just saying I preferred these better because I thought that it had a better horn. When you push the PV monitors, they get harsh real quick. These, you push them, they don't necessarily get as harsh because of the bigger exit, you know. Whenever you shrink that exit in a horn, I find, from my personal experience, there's going to be some freaking closet nerd out there who's going to tell me I'm wrong. But in my experience, the more you shrink that throat of the horn lens, then the harsher it tends to get. That's why a lot of your higher end stuff has at least 175. I know 1.75 is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of horns. I prefer the 2-inch for monitors, the 175 for front of house. But that is just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Don't get mad at me. Don't act like, I'm trying to kill you or something. So let's open these cable trunks. I got a drop snake. They don't look too awful bad. We'll pull a couple of them out and let them breathe. He had 4 monitor mixes out yesterday, so that means he had 4 front of house cables and 4 monitor cables. Yeah, there's a little bit of moisture in there. So yeah, there we go. For that, and then these are just a smaller condensed version of what is in the A-rig. I always try to keep things pretty uniform across all my systems, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's a 100-foot cable that definitely got wet. There's a 50, 2 more 50s, 25. All these 25s are probably out. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I'm tired. I might have my guy come help me pack all this up and put it away. This stuff isn't crazy, super horrible. Wet, so it shouldn't take, but I'm going to say, 3 or 4 hours and we'll all be good. It's a nice sunny day. That helps everything. So yeah, that's what's up with that. I was thinking about a fan. Where did oh, they're in here. That's why I can't find them. Yep, I can get to them from the side. I think I'll take this block and put here so that thing can be breathing. Hey, you still there? Wow. Let me move the camera. Yeah. Da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Really wish I was getting paid to do this. Have an extension cord here to run outside. Oh wow. Something was making a mouse house in my freaking speaker handle. What's up with that? wet gloves. I don't even know what kind of creature that was. That didn't look like a mouse thing. That was in the truck, dude. The truck is sealed. Like, how did something get in there to do that? Inquiring minds want to know. So, there you have it. There it is. I wish there was more to tell you about it, but there's probably not. All I know is I am very tired. And I just want to get this day over with so that I could maybe, fingers crossed, maybe take tomorrow off and do as little as possible, which usually means a day full of making content and chasing down clients and contracts, and my phone usually goes nuts on Mondays, you know, with clients and stuff. So it just kind of is what it is. Look, I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you made it this far in the video, let's get real, okay? I'm gonna like get super crazy real with you, all right? If you made it this far in this video, you should really be a paid member of this channel. I mean, come on, you know? It's like $5 to $7 a month, I think, is what the subscriptions are. Then you get access to all the member content that never goes public. You get to become part of my insiders that I always take care of, and that I always prioritize their comments and their private messages above everybody else besides the clients. And it's just where all the cool kids hang out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just where all the cool kids hang out. So you could be doing me a big gigantic favor and making my life just a little bit easier if you would think about, pray about, meditate on the idea of becoming a paid member for the Grumpy Sound Guy. And I promise you, you will not regret that. There's plenty of stuff for us to talk about, and it really helps me be able to bring you content like this and to give you my absolute best. Thank you guys. Have a great week. You know, we're right in the prime of fall festival season. Have a great week. Try to stay dry. If you get rained out, then this whole procedure was probably boring and you went to sleep 3 minutes into the video. I get it. But I'll catch you next week, okay?